Let's talk about how to promote your business or your brand, whatever you're doing online without spinning plates and doing all the things. Because I'll tell you what, I have. My name is Shylo. Let's get started. Oh my gosh, I cannot tell you how freeing it was for me when I decided I'm done being a prostitute on social media. And with the platforms that have come out over the few years, I'm a Facebook person. I'm in the age group. I'm over 40, so we've got Facebook, a little bit of Instagram. But when they started to introduce Reels and TikTok, things got a lot different. And now the time to actually grab people's attention is down to like 3 to 5 seconds, I think. So, we only have 3 to 5 seconds to grab your attention. And, I I had tried to hop on and do TikTok for a while. So I have to tell you this because this is a huge thing. So if you don't know me, I'm Shylo. I'm from Duluth, Minnesota. Soon to be in a new place. Coming soon, that announcement. But make sure you're subscribing to this podcast. I'm excited for this episode as it's a relaunch, it's a rebrand, and the sun is shining here, which is amazing. It's springtime here, and it's probably going to snowstorm later. So you never know what's going to happen. The weather is drunk. But I'm so excited to relaunch this show with all new branding and content and, an updated website with freebies and all the things and some offers in there for you. But yeah, definitely excited for you as subscribers and listeners and viewers. So love you. Let's get back to it. To stop being a whore. Okay. We're going to have t-shirts. This is a serious thing. How many times have you, if you promote a business online, which most of us do, or you're trying to build your brand, a lot of times people are telling you, oh, you got to do TikTok and you got to do this. Well, for me, I felt like I was trying to do it the wrong way. I always say class, not ass, but I was like doing it honestly. I'm like, do I shake my boobs? Like, what do I do here? Because I don't know how to be on this platform feeling genuine. I couldn't find a genuine way to do it. Now, with that being said, I have tons of colleagues who rock TikTok. They rock Reels. They're great. I love lives. I love podcasts where I get to maybe interact a little bit or have a little bit more time. I want you to hear my tone, my intent, my sarcasm, my jokes. I want you to see my face. I'm very animated. I want you to see that, but that takes a little bit more time. And that's what I feel comfortable with. So there's no wrong way, but I do know there is a lot of people going, I don't want to do this. Like, I don't want to be, not my monkeys, not my circus, right? If you don't want this, raise your hand. Okay, seriously, I get it. And there's ways to do this. There's ways to do this where you can feel like your authentic self. But first, the first thing you need to realize is you need to be standing and being in your values. Like we always hear the term like, be your authentic self. Your vibe attracts your tribe. You hear these bumper sticker quotes, right? But at the same time, what does that mean? How can I be myself? I'm trying to build a business and I'm looking at all these people. So the first thing I'm going to tell you to do is take a deep breath. Take a deep breath. And then realize that you do not have to compare yourself to anyone. And that's a big one because when we're in business and we want to do all the things, sometimes that noise comes in. And the reason I got on TikTok and was doing everything wrong, and the reason I was trying to do all the things is because one day I watched a training and somebody blew up over here and went viral and it worked for them. And then one day this worked for that person. And this happens all the time. It's noise. And so I want you to reduce the noise. And I want you to find first the one thing that you feel that you can provide value with. And for me, it's using my voice either on a podcast or a live in my social and getting it out. Now you can do lives on TikTok, which is great. And I'm going to start doing that, but I'm just going to, and I'll be honest with you, I'll probably reuse my content that I already have, which is another tip for all of you. If you've already got content, save it, refurbish it, and use it on a different platform. Like you don't have to make a million new things. So if you've got a lot of live content or you've done Reels before, just reuse it or cut it up and do that. Because my big thing too is I want to save you time and energy. I can't be a video editor for 8 hours a day for one freaking video that's 5 seconds long or whatever, right? Like, I want to save you time because as business females, entrepreneur women, we want to save time. We want to do less, provide more, make more, and have that freedom to be with our kids, our family, go do the things, get your hair done, whatever it is that fills you up. And so that's the other point of this is being in your authentic self is what gives you value, what brings you value. Is it your children? Is it spending time on you? Is it personal development? That's my big one. Like when I wrote down the things that really give me energy, it's when I'm growing myself, when I'm learning, when I'm healing or expanding. I love doing spiritual work and I love doing, I love learning new things, but I don't like to sit in trainings all day, every day, over and over. See, I'm not that person. I love to do trainings. I love to provide the trainings. Because when I'm providing that, it gives me that sense of worth. And I also know I'm bringing value to people. I'm giving back what I have. And I use my experience. So what do you have? What do you like to give value in? So if you are going to be on these platforms, what can you talk about? What can you share in your experiences of life? Because we all have experiences. It can be anything from positivity and sunshine and rainbows to maybe you want to talk about the real shit. Maybe you want to talk about the traumas and tough stuff, and people need relatable. So the other part about this is being relatable. When you see somebody with a product and they're like, oh, and they're doing, it's annoying because the only reason they're doing the TikTok is to get the likes. And the only reason they're tap dancing is to get the likes. Like, oh, look at me, like me, shuffle ball change, right? And it's like, that sucks. It's wearing. So what if you could do all this without feeling like you're being phony or like you're tap dancing for other people and still provide value and earn money and get new business partners? Like, that's what it's all about. And the way you do that is just showing you. So for many years, I was filtered. I was a very filtered version. I was struggling in my marriage for many years. We had a child that was going through serious things at young ages, and you don't exploit your children, and I wasn't going to talk about it. So I had to filter that part of my life. And then it was like I had masks on all the time. And I think we all have a mask to protect us sometimes too. So masks do provide a value at times, but we want to remove that and be in ourselves and be able to feel good. Because the minute you do something and you actually were in your authentic self, unapologetically you feel freaking energized, right? You want to feel that energy after you do a TikTok, after you do a reel, a live, after you do a podcast, a vodcast, after you're interacting. You have to do that. But also building your business isn't all about the show and likes. You guys, real business is built in building relationships. So let's talk about that. You're providing value and you're doing your posts, focus on that, but your real time and energy needs to go in, and I'm going to say 80% of it needs to be in building the foundations of your relationships. Marketing, networking, whatever it is, you still have to build those solid relationships. That means building trust. It's called listening and hearing. So the majority of my time is spent on building my relationships on the back end. Maybe that starts in Messenger or a text message, but it's usually on the phone or a Zoom where we can see each other and interact. But we need to build those trust and relationships. So the whole purpose of reels, lives, podcasts, TikToks is to show people that taste, that you're giving them a taste to who you are. You're providing them value and you're building a trust with a stranger who's coming in and going, oh, I can relate to that. Oh, she talked about that. Yes, you're building that up. But the back end of it is where the real work is. The real work has to continue after that. I know a lot of people who go viral and they have to do it all the time because they don't have the relationships. So if you're somebody who's constantly getting new business partners or it's more customers, if you're getting customers and customers, but you're losing them as fast as you're getting them, it's because they don't have a trust with you where they're going to stay loyal. Okay. Because people are buying you. They're not buying the product. Yes, we all have great products. Like, look at Starbucks. I drink Starbucks every day, and I love it. But I'm buying the brand. Like, I'm buying the brand, I'll be honest. I love the way Starbucks looks. I like the clean when I walk in. I like how it is. I like how they talk to me. I like how they screw up my name on purpose. It's to create conversations and whatever. I just like how they do things. Starbucks got me hooked with their branding, their tools, and their marketing. You're bringing people in. You're fishing. You're reeling people in by being you. So if you're not being you and people come to know you and why you might not be getting business partners, it might be because you're not being authentically you. And so that's the challenge. This is a question, and I'm going to be so ugly honest. I used to look at some people in my own industry, and I'd be like, I do not know how that person is at the top of their company. I was a straight up snot. I'm like, they are a complete hot mess express. They are out there. And then it hit me one day. I was mad because I couldn't be that version of myself, because we're all hot mess expresses. Raise your hand, also a t-shirt. Hot mess express right here. I'm a shit show. Like, I have great days. I cried earlier. Like, I have great days, tough days. There's up and downs. I mean, it's normal, y'all. It's normal. But I was not able to talk the way these people did. And therefore, I was pissed at them. I was resentful at them. I'm like, how can you be such a hot mess and have the biggest team in your company? But then it clicked. I'm like, because they're the hot mess and they're relatable and people want real. There is no time. You have 3 to 5 seconds to be yourself. So if there's a fake version of you going around and people finally get to know you in a message, guess what? Why are you not getting the sale? Why are you not securing these relationships? Because if you're one way on a reel and a TikTok and on a live, and then you are a totally opposite person in person and on the phone, people can smell bullshit. Right? You can't BS a BSer. So let's keep going. Like, you can't smell, you can smell it. So you can't bullshit people anymore. Like, we have to be real. The times of this, like, I call it fake famous. I'll do another episode on it. Big fame, getting on private jets that you had to rent and it's not even yours. And then you're acting like that's your lifestyle when you're living in your mom's basement. Like, that's not real. Nobody wants fake fame. Nobody wants that BS because you're going to have to show up. And you know what? We had 2 years where we were in quarantine where you could kind of be fake famous. It's over. Like, the real lifestyles have to come out and you have to be honest about it. That's how you secure relationships. That's how you stand in your values. And the last part of this, and this is a big one, and it'll hit. So, removing the mask. Let's just review a little bit because we talked about a lot. We want to be our authentic selves by removing the mask and being relatable and sharing things. The one thing I can tell you is don't over dramatize things. Don't exaggerate and have fake tears. Be honest. Also, never exploit others for likes and loves. That's just like prostituting too. We don't exploit others. We don't talk about serious life things that could affect or hurt other people to gain a following. We want to make sure we're doing things in the right way. Okay? So yeah, there are tough topics. My divorce is a tough topic, but I also want to stay true to the father of my children. I want to stay true to myself and feel good about it. So when I get off of podcasts or lives, I don't feel dirty. I don't feel gross. I feel like I stood in my values and I gave the respect that everybody deserves, including my children, because we want to look back and know that we gave value, not used exploitation and exaggeration and dramatization to gain likes and loves. Because what are we doing? Well, we're whoring ourselves. We want to be loved. We want to see those likes. We're willing to do the dance and we're willing to hold the plates and go all over because we want you to love us. I get it. I've bought my love so much. I have bought my love so much. And in the last few months, I've learned hard lessons because I ignored things about people. I placed people on pedestals, what we're going to talk about, and I put them there and I allowed it to take their values and I placed them on myself. I wasn't living authentically. And it ultimately destroyed me over time. It ultimately destroyed me. I modified my body for other people. I did things because I thought they would love me more. I looked a certain way. I talked a certain way. I hustled a certain way so people would love me. I didn't stand up for myself because I didn't want people to reject me. I was so afraid of rejection. Y'all, if this is giving you value, click subscribe below. Make sure you're heading to itsshylo.com and check out all the information and content there and stay up to date on this. Like, I really want you to be a part of my world and my community if this is giving you some value. But really, right now, like, this is shifting my business even in a short amount of time. In a short amount of time, identifying that I was buying my love for years. If I do this for you, will you love me? But if I do this, are you going to stay with me? I was so afraid of rejection. And I had to stop living like that because I was ultimately the one who was just devastated at the end of the day. I was always feeling less than. I was always feeling hurt. And I also was putting expectations on people who weren't ready to give me what I wanted. But I was putting the expectation out there. And yet I was over here like always feeling disappointed. Are you someone who always feels disappointed? Well, yeah, I had to work on that because I was putting expectations on people and they weren't ready for it. That wasn't their fault. That was my fault. And I had to relearn my communication, and I had to relearn and identify when I was doing this. When I was out prostituting myself, I didn't want people to hate me. I want everyone to love me. But the reality is not everyone is going to love you. You have to have balance. So rejection happens. It's okay. Not everyone's going to love or like you. But also, who does love and like you? Who does? Start paying attention to that. And give love to those relationships. Grow those relationships. And don't put expectations and put people on pedestals who are human beings, who taking their values and becoming yourself, pretty soon you don't recognize yourself, right? There was a moment in my life, I looked in the mirror one day and not only did I not recognize myself, I hated myself. I hated this version. Like, I was so disappointed in the woman I had become a few years ago because I was living in other people's values and making other people happy and making sure that people were comfortable. And again, I was being a little whore, right? And I say that lovingly, you guys. I say that lovingly because I just wanted to be loved. And I was sacrificing my whole self to be loved. I know there's a lot of people who can relate. So let's live in our values. Let's live in our authentic selves, which means if you don't like to do TikTok, you don't have to. You don't. And if you're really good and have done a bunch of lives or have a ton of content, go refurbish it and throw it on there. Not the end of the world. You don't have to do editing for 8 hours, y'all. That's crazy. You love doing reels and you love doing TikToks, then do it. But don't spend the majority of your day on there. Get it done, be productive, have that focus, and get into the relationship building. Get into the messages and responding. And be careful of getting VAs and all your stuff. Like, if you have VAs, great, but building a relationship needs to be with you and that person. You got to build real trust in a real relationship. That's how you get staying power in a team. If you're building teams, you're building a network. This is when people want to follow you. They want to be a part of it. So if you're going to launch a book, if you're going to do a project, you've got a following of people who freaking love you because they love who you are. They love your silliness. They love that you know how to cook crazy things. They love that you talk about all the things. They love your hot mess express. Y'all embrace it. Every single person. It doesn't matter how much money they make, how much money they don't make. We're all real people trying to get it, right? It doesn't matter. We all are shit shows at times. And there's times we're on, and that's great. And embrace those moments, but also embrace the other side. You have to have balance and be yourself. And that's how you be yourself, is when you live in your values. When you take the people off the pedestal. You stop comparing yourself to what other people are doing and what they look like and what they talk like. And you just start going, nah, I'm going to do it the way I want to do it. I'm going to do it and feel good when I get done. I'm going to feel inspired after because I'm providing something, and someone, at least one person, is going to get something out of it. And if I share my story, somebody's going to be able to go, oh my gosh, that's me. Or, oh my gosh, if she can do it, I can do it. That's seriously, when I first got started in any of my business, I remember thinking if I could just help one person see they can do it, I did my job. And it still applies today. It still applies today. So who can you go provide value, or who can you listen to and actually hear? And not listen to respond, listen to hear. And let them tell you what they need and build that trust and nourish the relationships. So, are y'all ready to stop being a whore? Are y'all ready? Are you ready to stop tap dancing for people? Are you done worrying about likes and all the things because you feel loved? Do you want to feel loved all the time? Then let's do it. Then let's embrace this and build our relationships. Live in our values. Live unapologetically. Be the Hot Mess Express. Stop comparing. And know that your business is built in the back end. Don't spend so much time on this social media craze. Get in Messenger, get in text, get on the phone. Have real conversations. Get on Zooms. Whatever you need to do. That's my message for you today.